Welcome to episode number 305 of the Keep Up Podcast,
where we're going to give you 2,025 reasons why we're the greatest podcast your ears have ever listened to.
I'm not doing that.
Reason number one. Look at our hats.
Yeah, hats
Reason
are cool.
number two.
Okay.
My hat's cooler than his. Reason number three.
Continue.
We got our own merch, the Keep Up merch.
There it
it's
is.
Beautiful. Reason number four.
I'm not wearing any.
It's a new year, but we have 304 other podcasts before this.
That's correct. He's telling the truth.
Who could listen to us that much?
I think I turned you up too loud, or you're
and
too
reason
loud.
number five.
That's better.
We're wearing socks.
Didn't you say? Can confirm.
He had to look.
I wasn't convinced he was. And I'm wearing boots. I haven't taken them off. You don't know if I'm wearing socks.
It would be really, really weird to not wear socks.
It would be a terrible decision for so many reasons. These boots would hurt. They're a little stiff, but fashion over function, my guy.
And if that's not Brett's lifestyle, I don't know what is.
You know what I mean? All pain, no gain, or whatever. Am I right? Why'd you throw up?
Because looking at you.
Guys, wow, that's messed up. This is a brand new year, and Tim's here and I'm here, and welcome to the Keep Up Podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me.
And we talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food. You guys know the drill, or you're new and you don't. You know what I mean? Either one's a possibility. Here's the thing. I haven't talked to you about this.
Okay.
We're never going to do this again.
Never do what?
I think, let's see. So our last episode was our holiday episode. The episode before that,
Yes.
we tried a little something, and we put out an episode of Cricket City.
Oh, yes.
I did not like the way that it felt. I put it up, and the idea, if you guys don't know, Cricket City is our Patreon exclusive podcast. So we were thinking, once a month, we're going to put out an older episode of that, starting from the very beginning, which was a little over 2 years ago now, I think. And I don't know, it felt like it was a cool, archival move, and I didn't like it. I didn't like putting out something old.
As, new?
Yeah, and, I missed having a new episode to put out. I didn't like it.
A new one of us?
Yeah.
What's funny is a lot of that information in those older podcasts are potentially outdated, or at the time when we recorded it, it definitely feels older.
Yeah.
So I can see where that feels a little weird.
Yeah,
there was anything new.
There was something about it, and it's not like I got feedback from anyone that was negative or anything, but it felt more like, okay, if I went and signed up for the Patreon, it would be cool to have all this backlog, but putting it in the main feed, something about I didn't like it. I was just like,
are you going to remove it?
No, I'll leave it up.
You'll leave it.
But I think we're one a week, regular episodes. I just feel like
don't do anything new or experimental when it comes to older content.
No, I'm not even saying that. We tried it, and I don't know if you have any feelings about it, but
no, I could see the benefits, and I mean the reason why we did it was so we could have extra time to either film or if we needed a week off or whatever. So on the back end side for us and time and all this stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think as a fan, it would be cool to hear.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if we have fans. I don't know. Not to say we don't.
Yeah.
I know there's people who message me and you.
Yeah, and there are people. We have a regular audience weekly. So, I mean, if you guys have any feedback on that, let us know, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
But when I update the feed, every week to make sure that the podcast uploaded properly and all that stuff. And when I did it, I was just like, that's kind of a bummer. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, maybe you guys dug it. Maybe you're not a part of the Patreon, and hearing those episodes is cool, even though, yeah, I don't know. There was just something about it. I was like, I kind of want to go back to an episode, a brand new episode every week. We'll see how that goes this year.
Yeah, I don't mind either way.
Tim doesn't mind, guys,
because Brett comes to me. So the only effort I need to put in for the podcast is to be here.
And Tim's right. The whole idea was that we have more time to film different content, but I think we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
How's your year been so far?
It's been...
We haven't recorded in a month.
It's been a long time.
I'm probably exaggerating.
No, I think you're
Close.
Close. I mean, what's today? The 8th. So it's been 3 weeks at least. It was kind of a wild couple weeks.
Yeah.
It was because we, holidays, as everyone has to partake in. Yeah. Not everybody, but a lot of people do.
You don't have to. Don't let anybody tell you what to do.
Yeah, you don't got to do nothing.
That was last year, Tim. I asked how your year's been, and you're like, last year. Actually, I did get this hat at Christmas, and for anyone who's only listening, it's a crow hat that Tim got me, and it's warm, and it's got the crow logo on it, and it's winter.
I thought it was a good pick.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick.
I didn't really get anything new personally.
Dude?
It was a good Christmas, We were just hanging out. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip now.
Okay. Dude, it's so loud. The gulping. Does the size of that bottle make the gulping worse?
Oh, yeah.
So Tim got this. I mean, it looks like a propane tank.
That's what it feels like I'm carrying around.
It's huge. Every year, his water bottle gets bigger and bigger.
128 milliliters.
I mean, literally, you could raise fish in that and drink out of it. And they would be like, I'm in the ocean.
It's infinite water.
It's huge.
It takes over 3.5 minutes to fill this up from empty.
Dude,
I timed
crazy. Are you able to get through this every day?
I don't. I should. Well, not that I should, because I think you're but half of it. Half of it throughout a day is like good. You're drinking a good amount of water if you drink half of it. But I drink like cups of water and stuff upstairs when I'm not. This lasts me about 3 days, give or take.
3 days?
3 days, and I don't need to refill it.
So wait, you drink water out of other things while this has water in it?
Yeah, I'm not going to lug this around everywhere I go.
Why not, dude? Is it one of your goals this year to lose some weight? That's going to help, dude. This has some weight to it. You're weight training.
I can attach it to my waist.
You should get 2. It's like wearing a weighted vest.
It is pretty heavy.
In fact, get a vest and just hang them all over you.
It'd be like, you want a drink?
Dude, it's terrifying. It's so big.
But yeah, I got this gigantic cup thing, bottle, party, and it's obnoxious. I don't know if I can bring it out in public. I'm gonna, but...
Yeah, I mean...
But it came with like a compass, and it's meant for long-term travel.
Dude, it's meant for people who are lost and are afraid of dying in whatever situation they're in.
At least I have water.
Yeah, thank God I have this jug that I can also bathe in because I can fit my whole body in it.
You can use some of the water to cook food. It's great.
You can. That's true.
It's very
That's a good
multifunctional.
Point. You could is the bottle metal?
Yes.
You could just hold it over a fire, put some noodles in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of friggin' ramen.
That's
going to be tough to put in there, though. I guess you just break it up.
You got to break it up. We're going to lose a lot of ramen peripherally. It's falling out all over.
Unless you're very careful and you could, snap it.
I feel like the snap, you're losing a lot of nudies.
I might be able to fit a half one, though.
Well, I look forward to that video.
I'm definitely not going to do it.
Speaking of videos.
Yeah, speaking of videos. Dude, good transition.
Hey, thanks. Thought of it myself.
I'm glad you thought of it.
At the same time you thought of it yourself.
We got one mind. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this year I have started...
Tell him about the thing, dude.
I'm trying to tell him about the thing.
Tell him.
I don't know if we actually talked about it on the podcast or if it was just Cricket City where I had the idea for 30 for 30.
Yes, you have alluded to it. I forget where and when.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim...
Me... This guy over here, brother of mine, soon is turning 30 years of age. Yeah. It's okay. I lived a good, long, fruitful life. And as the year 30 gets closer, I know the end is within sight.
Society does let us know at 30, that's it.
You can't play video games. You shouldn't be on the internet. You should be an old, balding man who works 70 hours a week.
Yeah, you should be mad at everything.
Everything, yep. Should be bitter about the world. You should have 3 kids and 2 houses that you can't afford.
Okay, yeah, the can't afford part. It sounded like, carry on.
So as I approach that age, instead of doing what most people do and kind of freak out about it, and maybe this is a form of freaking out about it.
Tim's like, here's how I'm masking my crisis.
I decided to give myself a challenge of 30 challenges. 30 different things I want to do this year that I haven't done. Certain things I haven't done ever.
Yeah.
Certain things I haven't done since pre-COVID because I've been streaming and my lifestyle has gone from like going to school and college, not high school. I'm way past that now. College and working. I went to a more stationary lifestyle in which I was making content and Twitch streaming and all those things, which I still am currently. But I am
relax.
I am
guys.
lurking.
You're liquoring?
I'm liquoring.
I'm liquoring up.
For a little part-time work on the side. It's a whole new. I transformed. I have metamorphosized into a new Tim.
And you haven't even had your birthday yet.
I haven't even. I'm still not 30, but I'm getting a head start.
Yeah.
So the challenge, the whole list is a ton of different things: lose weight, go camping. I've never gone actual camping before.
Oh, I heard a story the other day about someone's campsite being invaded by strangers in the woods.
Well, that is a lovely tale.
So
I'm gonna make you go camping with me. I hope you know. We're gonna make it a video.
That sounds right.
We're gonna be stuck in the woods alone. At least I have water.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Also a weapon. That thing is huge.
It's so heavy. Dude, this is my war weapon.
So you guys should know that even though Tim isn't 30 yet, he's already begun documenting this epic of Timness.
Epic journey of Timosity.
Yeah, so you should follow Collection Revolution on YouTube and other places as well. But you've got 2 vlogs up at the time of this recording.
Yes, I'm working on the 3rd one right now.
Yeah.
That one should be out maybe tomorrow, depends.
It's real good. And, I don't say that as a person who likes watching Tim because I'm sick of it, dude. But
he already sees me once a week. That's more than enough.
Once is plenty, dude. Sometimes it's for hours at a time.
Hours.
Sometimes I have to answer a text that has his name and an emoji face.
It makes me sick thinking about it.
It's obnoxious. So even me, who I'm fine that I've had plenty. I enjoyed the vlogs.
Wow, thank you.
So you guys who I assume don't have enough Tim in your life, I mean, I think you're gonna love it. I think it's gonna be 2 episodes in, and I'm hankering for the next one. And I don't say hankering.
No, but he's hankering right
know what
now.
I mean?
So I'm vlogging the journey with a bunch of different things I'm working on. Right now, I'm like steadily getting into it.
Yeah.
So one of the big things right now that I'm working on is getting my driver's license. That was like top of the list. First thing I want to do because
it's in red.
It's in red. Red means priority.
Red means go.
Go.
See, Tim's going to crush this whole driving thing.
Red means go. Left is right. I'm learning.
You got it.
So that'll be, I think, open the door to a lot of other things I want to do on the list. So that's the current plan. But yeah, vlogging's fun, and I'm excited to get Brett into more vlogs, and hopefully maybe you'll start vlogging yourself.
I may or may not have already been working on one before you announced to the world that you were working on yours. Or maybe I made it up because I didn't want you having the limelight. And I was like, I'm doing a vlog too.
Ooh, that's cool. You're doing one, but I also got one going.
I'm the water boy, dude.
That's wrong.
You know what I mean? Dude, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out soon. Woo!
The trailer wasn't really like...
Shut up.
No, I'm not saying it was bad. It's just like...
Shut up. It was really. First of all, it was really.
It wasn't really anything.
Shut up, dude. It was really.
What was it really?
It was everything. It was like, hey, remember one of the greatest comedies ever made? Here comes another one. All it showed you was everything it needed to show you.
That's fine. I mean, I didn't need much else.
I hope the movie comes out and it's only that trailer.
And that's it.
I hope I hit play.
Yep.
Because it's Netflix.
Right.
And then it's just the trailer.
And that's
I will cry and just...
They just filmed one scene.
Yeah, I'll be excited. Dog just walked in.
We have a new intern.
Also, if you guys are just listening, in the time I was making up that scenario about Happy Gilmore, I was afraid because the door got smashed in by a dog.
It did.
I was worried that he was going to knock everything over, and then I was distracted by him being next to Tim.
And are you cold now?
I'm a little chilly,
There is a crazy draft.
It's
when
insane.
that door opens, it's the worst.
If that opened and the dog didn't come in, I would assume a ghost did.
Yes.
Because
the
the
way
temperature
it opened,
just dropped. And what I understand of ghosts, they make it cold,
Yes.
I guess. I don't know. But I'm glad I'm still wearing a jacket. I thought about not wearing a jacket.
I'm glad you are too.
Yeah, I knew a ghost dog was going to bust in here.
Yeah, he's just like hiding behind me. I don't even know if you can see him on camera, but
I don't know, but he looks like a giant piece of fried chicken. So if you can't see him...
I like that you called him a loofah earlier.
Yeah, he also looks like that. But a loofah that color would be gross because it looks like chicken. But he's a cute Muppet looking dog.
Yeah. He's going to go to sleep in a minute, but
yeah, that sounds right. So your year's been pretty productive so far.
Yeah, I would say 8 days in, I feel like I have done a lot of things that has either been a long time coming or I just it feels new. I feel refreshed.
Ooh, love that. I love that refreshing feeling of a new year. You know, that's nice. I didn't get that this year the way I normally do, but
you still got time.
I do love it.
Is there a cutoff when you can't feel the freshness of
I was thinking
year?
about that because there's this stupid like phantom feeling where it's like,
pain?
It's the first. I wonder if this is, so I'm sure it's not pain.
Okay.
I'm sure it happens for everybody for a different thing, but I wonder if this hits creative people in a certain way where it's like, it's the 1st of January. I must release or start working on the greatest project I've ever made.
I am reborn.
Yeah, right. I'm brand new this year, and I need to show everyone the work that is only in my brain. And this year, the first hit, and I had the day off. That was tight, and I think I hung out, recalibrated, started working on some of our videos. One of my goals before the end of the year, I've already come into this year failing because I didn't meet this goal, was to finish editing everything we had filmed last year.
But you did finish.
I did finish. I was a little past the finish line.
And that happens.
And it does happen.
But there was no rush on them anyway.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But then day 2, I mean, literally January 2nd. Was a terrible day.
What happened?
I had the inverse of the like excitement at the beginning of the year that I normally have and like the encouragement and the like, yeah, let's get it. I literally was like, oh, I'll probably never accomplish anything that I want to accomplish.
That's so sad.
It was so sad. I was sad. I was like, why do I feel like this? It's so dumb. And it was like a super long day at work. I literally injured myself that day.
Dude, can you stop injuring yourself?
That's what set it off. I was like, I can't even not get injured a day in my life. I'm never going to make anything cool.
That path is interesting, but
no, it doesn't make any sense. And by a couple days later, started easing up and it's fine. But I was just like, this is the worst start to a year ever.
It's so funny because when it comes to that like New Year stuff, it could, like you said, it can go either way. You can be really like hyped about it, or you can totally be like already starting the year off on the wrong foot. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah,
but it's all a mentality thing.
It is, and I should say it's not the worst. Nothing actually bad happened to me, so it was just a mental thing.
It was just a rough day.
I'm sure other people have started the year off
dead.
Yeah, some people started the year off dead. You know what I mean?
But they came back.
And that's a good start. That's the thing. Is that a good start or a bad start? I feel like it's a pretty good start.
Depends when you died, I guess.
Does it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like if you died in the new year.
Yes.
Or if you were dead before the new year started and you were still dead into the new year and then got revived.
That's bad?
It could be bad.
Why?
Because you're dead. You start the new year dead.
And that's good?
That's bad.
That's bad.
So if you died like before the new year, but got brought back to life as the new year was starting.
That's bad?
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good, yeah. Yep. And for sure. I think that makes a lot of sense.
That's what I bring here. Thanks.
And good.
So where are you now as far as...
Literally next to you. I'm literally right next to you, Tim.
So
Listen,
sad about that joke.
Am I excited that I made that joke? Not a ton. But... You know, I thought of it, and an idea not spoken is just a dead body.
Right.
And as we just discussed, if you die in the new year, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad. And you know what I mean?
So that's where you are.
What's the question?
Where are you right now?
Where am I?
In the mental state of this year.
Thank you for clarifying, because I had to fight off saying the exact same thing. Dude, I was explaining to Rachel today. I had I was off today. I had 4 things to do, right? And I had to.
You weren't off today.
I was.
Oh.
But one of the things I had to do was go to work.
Oh, that's right.
But,
so that's
but
not
I wasn't. But I didn't
spit everywhere.
It wasn't a regular shift. I had to go to work.
The day off today, but I had to go to work. But it's still a day off.
Yeah, it's a day off, but on my list I had work full shift. No, I did go there for a meeting.
Gotcha.
It was not a regular day of work, and the meeting was of my own volition because I wanted to whatever.
I get you.
So I was telling her I had 4 things to do. I knew we were recording. I had to get Jazz's bike fixed. I had to fix our kitchen sink. I had just a handful of things I was doing. And at one point, I was doing the dishes, which was not on that mental list, but I was like, it's got to get done.
Dude, how could you add something extra to
Can
the
you
list?
imagine?
Insanity.
Literally try to imagine that. So I'm doing the dishes, and Rach is saying something to me, and then she stops, and I was like, babe, you know what's happening right now? And she's like, what? And I was like, I am actively fighting off all the thoughts of the other things I need to do just to focus on this one thing. And it feels like, you know, in a movie when a character is using all of their strength to hold off something so the other characters can get away. And they're like, I don't know how much longer I can hang on. That's literally what's happening in my head while I'm just like, wash this cup, wash this spoon.
Why did you not want to think about it? Because you didn't want to like stop?
Because it's not productive. Yeah, there's the only reason my brain's just like, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this. I'm like, I'm doing a thing. Let me finish this and then I'll do the next thing.
That's fair.
So I got through it. What was the original question?
Where are you mentally for this year?
Oh.
Right now.
And then I told you that story.
Yeah.
So I'm fine.
Okay.
I feel pretty good. I feel better. I feel, I don't know. I was telling you earlier, I have this constant stream of ideas and I don't have the time or resources to do them, which I know this is if you're a longtime listener, you've heard me say that a million times. I'm so sorry. But
it's Brett's catchphrase.
It's getting to a point where like, I'm like, what do I do with... And, you know, and someone, I think I was talking to Rach and she was like, well, a lot of people have a ton of ideas. And I'm like, I know, but I feel like I need to make them exist or I'm going to explode. And then maybe the next day I'm like, oh, it's fine. Maybe I won't explode. But it's like, I don't know. So
maybe you just need a better outlet for it.
Yeah, it's kind of what it feels like.
What you're doing right now is good, but it's not as... as satisfying as you need it
maybe, yeah. And that's the thing. I don't even really know what I'm looking for because I'm not looking for an out of anything. Like even, you know, I'm fine. Like everything's fine. But I'm like, I want to do stuff.
Plus, you had the craziest last year where you had so much free time because of, injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
So you were teased so much last year of like, this is what a life could be like where I'm getting paid to do what I love, essentially.
Yeah, well, it's happened multiple times since COVID because I was home for COVID. Did we record a lot that year? I don't even remember what we did.
I think we tried to do some online ones.
Yeah.
But because of lockdown and everything, I don't know.
That's right. I don't know. I've had various glimpses. Like there was a time I was working from home and that's when I started streaming regularly. And then I got back to work. I couldn't do it. And then I was out of work because I got laid off and I started Okay, I'm Done, the other podcast that I did. And that was super fun. Actually, that was a January 1st baby.
Oh, wow.
Because the night before, I was like, I want to start something new. I'm so sick of sitting on ideas. I have this idea. I'm just going to do it. And it actually like got some traction. And then I went back to work. And
so
that was literally it.
It seems like the source of your problem is work.
It always has been. It always has been. But like, I'm not, delusional and thinking I'm like, I can just... Well, not delusional. I don't know. Sometimes you hear stories of people being like, I just left everything behind and I went after my dream and it worked. I've tried that multiple times and it just doesn't quite go all the way.
It's hard because it requires a lot more. As someone who has previously attempted this.
Yeah, right.
It requires so much more than just simply like, I'm following my dream and like, and I'm like not working, even if you have money saved or you have another source of revenue or whatever, there's just so many factors at play, not even as far as like financially, but also mentally, like day in and day out, your brain is always working because you are your own boss. And if you don't put out content, then you're not growing, you're not doing anything.
I saw a vlog recently. I can't remember where it was or like if the dude who posted it was a dork, but they said something about how you're always on, even when you're not creating content, you're thinking about the content.
Sounds pretty informative.
It's really insightful.
Yeah.
But it's very, very true. And I don't know, maybe you can find that vlog, Collection Revolution, on YouTube.
Oh, I've heard of him.
And it's so true, like when you're thinking of anything. And that's how I feel constantly, is that there's like these ideas and things I want to do, but when they don't get done, it feels like...
Right, because you don't want the idea to leave either. No. You don't want... And sure, you could write it down, but we've looked at many of your ideas that you've written down for videos, and it's like, what is concrete house mean?
I do have a list of ideas. I think we've gone through them, but there's still some in there that I'm like, bro,
there's something
baloney
here.
Technician? What was I talking about, dude? That's probably a great idea, but I don't know what it means.
I've learned over the years to make your notes as much detailed as possible.
You think you're gonna... I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna forget Skyrocket Spaghetti Monster. And then I look at it, I'm like, okay.
A year later, you're like,
bro, what was I on? So yeah.
But I get it, and I hope you find that avenue in which you could release your energy, whether it's a podcast where you just talk about your ideas or whatever, however you need to do it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's why the vlogs are nice, because I still have that creative outlet, but it's more like kind of relaxed, and I'm like doing things that are improving my life, but also making content out of it. So I'm like doing all of it.
Which is a really important balance. I think I was thinking about this while I was watching your vlog is I think I've stopped myself from doing certain things in the past because I think of what other people might see. And I need a creative outlet. Like it is just part of how I desire to communicate, you know? And that's fine. Like I like the idea of just like a kind of chaotic vlog that just is whatever it is. Because if nobody watches, cool, I got the thoughts out. But if somebody watches and like relates to it, even cooler. You know what I mean? There's some community aspect there. And I think I need to get over that hump with some of the ideas. Because sometimes there are ideas that I feel like, okay, if I focused on this for like a month, I think I can make something of it, but it might not be exactly what I want it to be. But is it worth getting something out rather than nothing? And it depends. I think sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes it's no. Because sometimes if you're putting something out that isn't your ultimate vision and it falls short, you're just kind of pissed that you put the energy into it.
Right, because it could have gone to something else.
Yeah. And you made like a gross baby.
Just like, what is this thing? I don't think there's any harm in letting it out there because you don't know what's going to do well.
I don't.
And think of
I don't know.
Millions, if not billions of videos out there that are terrible quality, terrible audio, terrible visual, that get millions of views.
If you're feeling discouraged, find someone worse than you and be like, you know what?
Dude, the hundreds of artists that you show me on your Instagram.
Dude, I have the most beautiful algorithm and I don't know how to feel about it because I feel bad. I feel bad that Instagram is like, hey, you like terrible music. Here's one.
Go. Dude, I found one the other day that might trump anything you've seen.
I hope it's the same one I saved to show you because I have a couple. I have a thing now. If you guys don't know, some of you out there might have built this algorithm that I've built. And I was trying to figure out, and I feel so bad because some of these, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're all playing us, but these are videos of people sharing songs they've written. And I mean, they're objectively awful. Like whether it's like someone's super tone deaf or there's just nothing to the song that makes any sense structurally. It's confusing to listen to. The recording's like a nightmare. But these things have massive plays, and then it translates to Spotify plays and follows and stuff. And it's funny and absurd, but it's because it's so shockingly bad. And I feel bad because if these are real people just sharing their ideas, and some of them I'm sure are, like, I just hope all the comments aren't getting to them because you go to the comments and it's all the same stuff. It's people being like, I built this algorithm with my own blood, sweat, and tears.
I have found the golden sound.
One was like, hello, fellow algorithm travelers. And then there's the standard stuff that's like, God gave you a hidden talent, keep it hidden. There's like a bunch of these like gem roasts that I find all the time. But it's absurd. And I questioned for a while, like, how does Instagram know to show, like, how does the AI know to be like, oh, this is bad and show it to me? And I think it's the comments. I think it's like similar comments and probably similar. It's probably more about my profile and what the same profile is, which is maybe music fans, maybe people who follow music pages.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is it all depends on watch time.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm the type to be like,
you'll sit there and listen to the whole song.
The heck is happening? Yeah, and dude, I'll just spin it because if Rachel's walking by and I'm watching one of those, she always is like, Brett, she can't listen to something obnoxious. She has like, it's almost like a sensory thing where she's like, that is making my brain bleed. Turn it off. So she'll be walking by. I will just crank the volume and smile and turn it to her. And she's like, why?
Because you know it's bad.
It's so funny, though.
Nothing was worse than that guy who hits his chest.
Yeah.
That guy was funny.
That is, I believe, Brian Naked. And he has a video on his page to me,
which is amazing.
It was a birthday gift from a friend. Thanks, Austin and Johnny. Love you guys. Yeah, man, the internet's weird, and I can't wait to be on it more.
I know. So that's, I guess, my next question is: you took a pretty big social media break.
Huge, yeah.
Are you still on it? Are you where are you with it?
I am at the point of assessing what I want to do because part of the reason I took the break is I spend more time like scrolling and comparing than creating and sharing. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it is what it is.
Yes.
So I've started to slowly get back on. I also feel bad because I have missed messages from people on the platforms, and my last post on every platform gives like my email and stuff, but not everyone sees the post. So as I get back into creating, I just want to stay as productive as possible. And because I think I have like I don't know, I have something that draws me back. I assume it's like a dopamine addiction or whatever. So if I have a downtime and I have one of these apps as like an outlet, I'll just grab it and scroll. And I'm not being productive. I'm not thinking of cool ideas. I'm not doing anything that I think is like adding value in any way to anything. So I want to avoid that. Because I think there's this weird like dichotomy of when you're a creative person, you can scroll because you're almost like looking for inspiration and like, what are other people doing? I have an unfortunate tendency to compare myself, so it's actually more damaging. And I don't usually walk away like, oh, that's cool, I feel inspired. If I sit and watch a movie, if I play a game, if I read, then I will often walk away feeling inspired. If I do if I sit and I'm like quiet, if I like sit and pray, then I'll feel inspired. But if I scroll, my brain rots and eventually I hit a point where I'm like, hey, that's awesome. I'm never going to make anything that cool.
That's funny that it makes you feel like upset by the end of it.
If I'm finding it's weird. And I'm not saying that's, I don't know how that comes across, but.
No, I think it came out across.
Okay. It shouldn't sound like, oh, I'm such a victim by the internet. I think we all are. But I think that's a flaw of mine. I shouldn't be. It's a weird version of pride. Like thinking that, like looking at something and immediately turning it on myself.
Right, as opposed to getting what the content is like on face value, or if it's like they're trying to inspire you or whatever.
Right.
The idea behind that is you flip it around and you're like, I'm not going to be able to do this, so this makes me upset or sad or angry because I won't do this.
It's weird. And it's a strange, I've thought a lot about this, but a lot of times people think of pride as like an arrogant person or someone who's like super noticeably self-centered. But another version of it is like being overtly self-conscious, which is the thing I've always dealt with, because I'm still just thinking about myself instead of just watching. There are some albums I haven't even listened to yet because I know I love the artist and I'm nervous to hear how good it is. Isn't that weird?
So you think you'll be nervous because you don't think you'll be as good?
I think so.
Yeah, that's...
it's weird.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it's weird. There's a better word for it. It's just
pretty weird.
It's unfortunate that you think that way because
and I think
what you make is so good, like your content or your music or whatever creative projects, that it's sad that you get stuck on what other people are doing because what you're doing is already great.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And I should clarify, it's not always like, obviously I've made stuff, so I've gotten over it, but I've just gone through seasons where I'm like, why am I so focused on like what people are going to think? And I'm sure it's I don't know, it's rooted in whatever it's rooted in, you know what I mean? Like something from being bullied or I don't know. It came from somewhere, but I'm more aware of it these days because I'm like, I don't have time to play around. I want to make cool stuff.
Right. It's like, shut up, brain. Let me enjoy this.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm trying to get to a point right now. I'm figuring out what it looks like to get back on social media because I don't want to just get back. And honestly, like baseline, I just don't want to lose the time.
Oh yeah. Doom scrolling. You know? I'll catch myself where I'm sitting for like an hour doom scrolling for nothing. Like, you know, I'll say it's for inspiration or I'm just trying to check things out or whatever.
Trends. Or
But at the end of it all, I'm like, what did I just do for the last hour?
Yeah, and those are the tough moments. I'm not against, you know, if you're chilling, you know, it's the end of your day, I do scroll like random music stuff, cat videos. I see so many like fail videos. I scroll that stuff all the time. And don't feel bad about it. I shouldn't say all the time. It's not like constant, but I'm so cautious with how I talk about the internet because I think it is really dangerous, but also like
that's the thing.
Not always, you know?
Yeah, I think it is dangerous because our brains are just so hardwired with them.
Yeah, I think we need to be careful not to lose ourselves. That's pretty deep. I don't know. I
mean, it's true though. The internet is a wide world of soul taking away.
Wow, dude. A wide world of soul taking. That is a shirt I want to print immediately. The front just says the internet, and the back says a wide world of soul taking away. Did you say taking away-ing?
Taking away-ing.
Yeah, that's way better. It should be the Keep Up podcast, found on the internet. A wide world of soul taking away-ing. Wow.
There we go. Next merch idea.
I love that. I love that.
So
very
your
much.
social media, you're going to try to come back?
Yeah. I don't know what with or when, because that's the thing.
Because you've been like loosely on it, because you've been like posting videos and stuff like that on YouTube. Which
Have
YouTube?
What did I post on YouTube?
I don't know. Videos.
I don't think I posted anything.
Well, you post the podcast every week.
Oh yes, I have been doing
just
that.
Like in general sense, you took. Your time
that's
away.
true.
Yeah.
You're right. That is a thing I was doing. Yeah, I was still posting our stuff because that felt strictly productive. Like I'll get on, but. One of the things I've totally failed at is I've not responded to like any comments on YouTube.
I'm still so bad with that because I don't get notifications. That's what screws me up.
Oh, yeah.
And I once, I'll see it when I log on, but if I don't, I don't see it.
Yeah, so once I figure out, that's the thing. I'm in a point right now where I'm trying to figure out where to focus my attention. And there's a couple things that like always take precedent. Like I feel like family stuff is going to be super important this year. Which is a whole bunch of stuff. Like it's Rach and the kids. It's you and your list. That like legit. I saw that. I was like, this is gonna be a cool year for Tim. Just anything that we're doing as a family. Like I just want to make sure I'm available for all that stuff and not in a weird mood because I didn't make my new podcast idea.
Aww.
I didn't draw a picture and show the internet.
No.
I have some cool picture ideas though.
Dude, just post them. Make a vlog about your pictures.
You know what it is too? You know what else I'm trying to get rid of? Sorry, I'm not sorry. It's fine.
I'm not. No, this is our first podcast of the year.
Yeah.
If we don't talk about a single thing other than us, then I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it too. The other thing that I'm trying to I'm realizing is, I use the word fail loosely, but if in your own definition you fail at something enough times, you start to feel like, oh, that's always going to be the result. So if I look at every time I started like a new creative project and it didn't become like my income or like my, what am I trying to say?
Your way of life.
Yeah, I guess. My occupation, maybe that's the word I was looking for.
Career.
Thank you. I don't like occupation as much as I like career.
Yeah.
If I look at every time I did that and that didn't become the thing, then it feels like, oh, shoot, every time I start something cool, it just ends. But like, it's a perspective thing because all that stuff that I made is still out there. Like we did that stuff, Right.
It gets saved forever. And you got to remember, you're doing something on like super mega hard mode.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, like getting a video recognized to the point where you can make money from it and do it full time is like one in a million. Like,
I know. It's outlandish.
It's a really difficult thing to do. Hence why we've made, do you think you've made 1,000 videos in your life?
Videos, it's close.
On the Keep Up, I think we're a little over 400.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
And that's not counting our other channels like Cheddar Fingers and stuff like that.
Gosh,
and Vines, if you want to count those. But like,
I forgot about the Vines we did.
Yeah, so
those were fun.
Those were really fun. We still have a compilation on YouTube of all the old ones.
We do?
Yeah.
That's rad.
Because I made it for Patreon. I didn't think I made it public.
That's right. That's right.
So it's cool because when Vine went down, they're like, make sure you download these because they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So it's most of our Vines, not every single one, but a good amount.
The good ones.
The good ones, right? But you got to think. Fun. Like you've been making videos for so long, and it's like fishing. You just have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll catch a big fish. The hope is, anyways.
Yeah.
So I still have that hope, and I think you do too. Sometimes it gets covered in some dirt and you got to dust it off a little bit.
It's true. But I think that's the thing. And you get confused, I think, sometimes about what you're looking for. That's the thing that I don't know if you do this, but you ever like, what am I trying to do? Like,
that's always been like when I was streaming, my initial, when I the first 2 years I did it, it was kind of just like, can I do this?
Sure.
And then I got to the third year and I was like, okay, what do I want to do now that I'm here?
Yeah.
Because I hit a good point where I was like, okay, now like, how should I form my streams? How should I form my content?
Yeah.
And so last year was one of those years where I was like, okay, like I like what I'm making. I like what I'm evolving into, but I didn't see an end. I didn't have an end goal in mind.
Tough.
So that's why this year, this is like the list is like will be my focus for the year, and I'll try to finish the challenges while making content. So I think it is, like you said, a perspective thing where you need your goal also needs a destination. Like, or not your goal, but what you're working on also needs to have an ending to it.
Yeah, you gotta have vision for it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's like nothing to work towards.
Right, because you can keep posting videos and making content all day, but if there's like, if you don't have an achievable goal to work towards, then you're just throwing it out to the void.
Right.
So I think having a goal is helpful. Which last year, again, I had very minimal goals, if any, and I think that's why it felt kind of like a bum year. Because it was like I was just making stuff to make it and continue the status quo.
That's tough. That's where I got with. I had a year on TikTok with Animatronic, which is my hip hop project. If anyone's unfamiliar, just for context, and I had a year that was pretty good. Are you rocking the shirt?
I am.
Get out of here!
It's. I mean, this is the worst way to show it, but
I mean, I can't even see. Tim's wearing a shirt. No, don't go through the trouble. It's fine.
Anyways,
Tim's wearing an animatronic shirt. That's funny. I didn't know that.
I didn't either until I thought about it.
Yeah, you're just all merched up today.
Check out my Keep Up underwear.
Oh, we should make that.
Yeah.
So I had a year on TikTok with animatronic that went pretty well. I had a couple songs like pop off, a couple of duets. And then I got to a point where I was like posting regularly, but nothing in my regular life changed time-wise. So just because I had a couple of verses pop off, I didn't all of a sudden have more time. That didn't translate into like more creative time, more writing time. So I started just posting stuff that it was fun. Like I was just talking about music and things like that. But it ultimately turned into posting just to post. And that is not art.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's
right,
not
because you're trying to play the game. You're making like the videos you're making. You're probably still proud of, but you're making them just so you can like feed the machine.
Totally, and I think there is value in that. Like I still hear content creators talk about if you're going to post and you want to make something of it, do it every day. Like just commit to doing it. And I totally get that.
But we've seen the number of people who are like, "Oh, I'm just doing it to make money," like that.
Yes.
That artist, or not artist, but the guy who talked about albums and stuff.
So weird. Finn McKenty.
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
He just like completely was like none of any of the videos I did, which Brett told me all about this. So this is just like coming from him secondhand. But essentially he was just a creator who was really loved in the community, who talked about stuff with such passion.
Yeah.
A lot of music focused videos.
Yeah.
And then he kind of disappeared. And then he did a podcast where they were like, "Why'd you disappear?" And he was like, "Well, I just made enough money and I was good. I did what I needed to do." And he was like, "Did you ever care?" And he's like, "Not really."
He was like, "No, I never."
Which is, how do you do that?
Some people think that, and I haven't seen if there's an update on this, but some people think that he is just like either like trolling or just super jaded. So at this point, because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the dude literally has tattoos of bands and like.
Right. Like, how far do you commit to the bit if you hate it?
I don't know, man.
I would say probably jaded. It would make the most sense.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. But it was a bummer because it was just like in this video, he's like, "Oh, I don't care." He's like, I think he's talking about music fans or metal fans specifically. I forget, but he's like, they're all smooth brained and they just want you to talk about this band from 2003 over and over again. And it's a really bitter sounding moment. And it's like, man, I don't ever want to get to that point. I really don't want to be posting stuff bitterly. Now, to be fair, he unfortunately got dragged really hard by a lot of communities, like on Reddit and stuff like that, which, Reddit's pretty rough. But it seems like in a situation like that, you come out and say like, "Oh, everything I was doing, I didn't care about anyways." You just kind of like give everyone who is trashing you the fuel to be like, "Oh, we were right."
I can't think of I can't think of a benefit to that because that means all the work you did like the last 10 years or however long he was doing it means nothing to him.
Yeah.
It means nothing to like all the fans. Like, I don't know, that's just throwing away all your work for nothing.
Yeah, it's really sad because I really, I maybe this sounds like goofy, but I legit like I hope he's doing all right because to like you just said, to throw away all your work in a couple of sentences in an interview sounding bitter, where you insult like your whole
that's all I know about him.
Right? And that's what man, that's unfortunate. And so I'm not trying to get there, but I do feel like the way I want to approach things, and maybe this is a good way to approach things, is by hitting hard with a loose fist. Now, this is terrible fight advice because you will break your fingers. But what I mean by that is if you're going to do a thing, do it, right? Go after the thing. But loose fist. If it needs to change it. If you need to drop it, drop it. But while you're going after it, hit it hard, but just be willing to like change it up. And I think that's where I have struggled is like I get locked in this like it should look this way, I should make this kind of content, whatever. And then if something changes or I have an idea that doesn't quite fit what I'm doing, I don't really know what to do with it, and I kind of panic. And everyone loses their minds. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What is that, Joker?
It was Joker, but you definitely went like, who's that guy
Who's that guy?
In Alice in Wonderland? Mad Hatter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like which one? Like the animated one?
Yeah.
That's a good one. What's your favorite Disney animated?
That's my favorite?
No, what is it?
Oh, Mulan.
Oh, Mulan's so good.
It has the best music.
Dude, Robin Hood, though?
Robin Hood's good. That's one I can always come back to.
What a banger.
Fell apart a little at the end.
See me reach for that one?
But I like that philosophy. I think if you, everything go full force, and if it's got to change, you just roll with the punches.
You roll with the punches.
Because your next fist will be stronger.
Even stronger and looser. Or whatever. I don't know.
Wiggly fingers.
I'm working on it. Maybe that'll be my vlog. That'll be my vlog tag. Hit hard with a loose fist.
I like that.
And then in parentheses, I'll put, this is bad fight advice.
Don't listen to the advice.
No, it's not good fighting advice. Dude.
We do have something we, at the very least, have to talk about.
The longest intro in history. It's pretty good.
What's this one going to be versus 2025? Versus
so funny.
TKU versus us?
Maybe. Hey, if you guys, whether you're listening or watching, go to the YouTube video, leave some comments, let us know. Let us know what you are up to this year.
Yes.
I honestly, I love, I think resolutions can be a trap sometimes, but I do think, every day is a new one. So if you get a whole new year.
Yeah.
What are your
Give yourself
plans?
30 challenges.
Yeah.
For a year.
However old you're turning this year, if you're turning 70 years old, you have 70 challenges.
70. Make them easy. Make them easy.
Yeah.
Get up.
I mean, that feels insulting.
Challenge number 1, get up.
This year, I would like to stand. Stand 70 times.
And I shall succeed.
I guess you could start, keep the bar low.
Yeah.
Maybe
I didn't want to do
any
any challenges that were too easy for mine because 30, but then I started getting near the end. I was like,
Here's what I like about yours, though, is it has some that are it's going to take some work. And then you have some that, like, if you have a day where you're like, I need to feel some progress, you can do a couple of those. So it's smart. I don't know what you were trying to say.
Varying degrees of difficulty.
Yeah.
And that became degaring.
Degaring. It's the craziest abbreviation ever. It's degaring.
Yeah.
By which I mean varying degrees of difficulty.
Yo, can I count that as something new?
Yeah.
Something new I did this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to not be as loosey goosey with that. It's gotta be something that's like significant.
Degaring is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying 30 new things is tough because they gotta be, I feel like, somewhere between a certain difficulty level and another difficulty level. You can't be between one thing.
Right.
I noticed I thought you had try 30 new meals. You have make 30 new meals on your list.
Make 30 new meals.
That's a way bigger deal.
It's a way, yeah, because I do enjoy cooking. I never make the time for it. Every now and again.
That I just want you to put that song over you cooking.
Okay.
Next time you vlog and you're cooking, I want.
What is that? That's the hamster song.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so.
I thought
you put like a Western twang on it.
No, because I think isn't that in Robin Hood? I think that's one of the songs in Robin Hood.
That's what you did. But you did.
That's
the hamster song. But maybe the hamster song is the Robin Hood one.
What the hell am I thinking?
I think it's the hamster song. It's not Crazy Frog, is it?
I feel like it's not Crazy Frog. Am I putting... what songs are in...
I don't know the Robin Hood song you're trying to do. All I know is Robin Hood and Little John were walking through the forest.
Yeah.
That's like the only one I think I know.
There's I thought someone whistled. That's really hard to whistle. Maybe that's not it.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Someone's screaming.
I know.
Right now.
We'll look it up after the podcast.
100%. So what were you saying? Oh yeah, you never make time to cook new meals.
Yes. So making 30 new meals will be fun because I think I will try a lot of new things as far as food goes.
Yeah.
But also like have fun cooking, and I think those will be fun videos too.
Those will be very fun. Cooking videos are great.
And we had to make 30 videos for the Keep Up, so I hope you're ready.
We
I'm counting the videos you publish.
Okay. Happy to help. Happy to help.
Because I don't know if I'll be able to get 30. I think we can get 30 on the channel by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if at least with our schedule, I'll be able to get.
I mean, that's more than. It's crazy because this doesn't sound like that much. Mm-hmm. That's more than 2 videos a month. More than 2 YouTube videos per month.
Because there's 52 weeks in a year. So that means I would have to fill up 30 weeks with at least one video if we post it.
I can barely get you to watch a video.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
But the vlogs will be easy because I can pump out 1 or 2 of those a week depending on what I'm doing. But,
good. Glad it's nice and easy for you over there.
But the Keep Up, I'm very excited for the videos we have going.
Me too, man. I'm really stoked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. I hope you're excited for another full year of the Keep Up podcast and whatever else the Keep Up does on YouTube. Which I know what it is, but you guys don't know what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fun year.
And we're gonna do it live.
We'll do it. Are we going to do it live?
I mean, we can.
Oh.
We can do something live.
Okay.
I mean, that wasn't part of the plan, but.
It wasn't. But hey, we're not done yet.
We're not done.
Despite this 52-minute intro to the Keep Up podcast.
My favorite.
We do have a review for you today.
Yes, at least one.
And for this, we will see you in movies.
Ooh, let's go to the movies.
I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm totally... What happened? Your phone died?
I get. No, it had full battery. This is the second time it shut off today.
Ooh, that's a kernel panic. You gotta be careful with that.
What's a kernel panic?
The hardware is failing. And did it just restart again? No. Okay, good.
But it is the second time it happened today.
Just keep an eye on it. You got a backup?
No, but I will after this.
All right. Yeah.
A kernel panic. Why you gotta tell me that, Brett?
I'm at the pool with my buddy Papa Dana.
I just want to pull up my notes. Okay. What?
I'm at the pool with my buddy Papa Dana. Hey, Papa Dana.
Wow.
Hey,
Papa Dana.
Listen, is it early in the year? Yeah, but did we already see a brand new movie? Yes, we did.
We're already ahead of the game, and this is Sonic 3, baby.
All right, I thought you were going to do Sonic music, and I panicked. We should say real quick, there's a full review on YouTube, but if you're only a faithful listener, you should know we saw Sonic 3, and it was great.
Well, we're not doing the review on that. I'm sorry.
Not doing a full review, but it is a keeper.
Well, we did do a full review.
I mean, we did, but we're not doing it here.
And I think it's like the first 8 minutes are spoiler-free.
Yes.
The first 13 minutes or something.
That is correct.
So if you haven't seen it and want a review without being spoiled,
yes,
but definitely go watch the full thing.
100%.
And go see Sonic 3 because it's amazing.
So good.
Anyways, we're not talking about Sonic 3.
No.
Brother, pray with me. For today is the day we talk about a film we saw. From the moment I was birthed to the moment now.
You peaked.
I was. Can you not peek while you're praying?
I watch it. I don't think
illegal?
I think there's a rule about that. I just noticed it. Anytime you're closing your eyes to do something, but you like peek, it just feels like.
So you were peeking.
I never closed my eyes.
Oh, you were praying with me?
I was nervous. I was like this watching you.
Just see what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I was scared.
My brother, thine family. We shall conduct a review today for a movie in which horror originates.
Why are you so far away from your mic?
In which I tell you upon thine brethren.
This doesn't sound like a prayer. It just sounds like a declaration.
I bring upon you a review for a movie called Nosferatu.
Oh my goodness. That's honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was very Nosferatu.
Yeah, I feel it in my bones. Everything's red now when I close my eyes. Which is fitting because this movie's about vampires.
Yeah.
Well, one vampire.
Yeah, this movie's about vampire.
The vampire.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you guys about the movie Nosferatu. Now, it's relatively new, so we're going to hit you with a spoiler-free review. I don't know if we're going to need to go into spoilers, but if we do, whether you're listening What?
Not necessarily.
Right, not necessarily. But if we do, whether you're listening or watching, there will be a timestamp on the bottom in the description where you can go to where the spoilers are. Wait, how do I have to do this? Oh, yeah, where the time frame. There will be a way for you to avoid spoilers.
Right. If there is spoilers.
Which we might not need to.
We're making this in the sense that if there is spoilers, but there might not be.
I don't know where this is going to go.
Okay, so check, and if there's nothing there, then we didn't spoil.
Yeah.
But if there is...
I'll say spoilers at this and this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No, I'll just say spoilers end at, because I can tell you live. Spoilers start now. Not, they don't, though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I wasn't ready to spoil.
We're not spoiling.
So Nosferatu
Yeah.
is the original. This is a remake based on a 1922 German silent film.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
In which they loosely / totally blatantly stole the story of Dracula.
You can use loosely, very loosely.
I'm using it very loosely.
Yeah.
And so this, the original film, again, was made in 1922, and it tells the story of Count Orlok.
1922. It just struck me that this is over 100 years
Over 100 years old, and it went into the public domain in 2019.
Wow.
So because there was a lot of issues with it and stuff, but I thought I'd bring a little fun fact here. The original film was actually deemed a copyright infringement. The widow of Bram Stoker, which I think her name was Florence, and she was like, "Hey, I don't want this around. This is infringement on my copyright."
Yeah.
And she actually won, and all the original copies got destroyed. That was what was supposed to happen. And thanks to whoever over the years, we have been able to piece it together. I say we, like I helped. I wasn't part of that.
Tim was heavily involved.
Humanity has been able to piece it together to a form in which we could watch it now. But it was technically supposed to be destroyed.
Wait, that's the only reason we have a way to watch it now?
Yeah, because people found different versions of the movie, like clips and things like that, and they pieced it together over the years.
I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing. So if you go to Wikipedia, you'll see a horribly put together piece or version of the movie where it's all different colors, all different like frame rates and visuals and stuff like that of like the original one that they tried to build, but now it's been remastered with a soundtrack, and that's the version. Watch the new version. But the original had no music either. The original, when it was first in theaters, it did, but the new form after it was supposed to be destroyed has no music.
The like jigsaw puzzle version.
Yeah, and
Weird.
it's not great.
I mean, it is, and you can see it even more in this remake.
Mm-hmm.
It is Dracula.
It is Dracula, but I think Dracula's better.
Sure. I mean, yeah, but that's what's so weird about this is it's like, oh, inspired by it. It's like, no, bro, like you just told this is the same story.
Yes.
And like I said, it's even amplified, even more amplified in this version. I did watch Nosferatu, I think 2 years ago for the first time. And I think we talked about it on the podcast, but it's a, if you're a horror fan, if you're interested in the history of like monsters and things like that, I think you should watch it. It's not easy to get through.
It is a hard watch.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of horror, it is cool because it is like almost the origin of horror movies.
Yeah.
Given the tone and how scary Nosferatu looks like.
Very
and it's funny because he's not like... His name isn't Nosferatu.
Right.
That's just to describe what he is. Again, he's Count Orlok. But he's always been terrifying to me.
Yeah, he's very scary.
Very scary. But when you watch the movie, like if you sit through it, he's not scary. He's very goofy looking. And until you get to the iconic scene where he's like standing there in the hallway and staring, he's like creepy looking, but it's more goofy nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, you can easily see how terrifying that would be if you haven't seen something like that back in the day. Literally over 100 years ago. That's messing with me.
Insane.
But we are talking about the 2024 version.
Yes.
Which somehow captures the same energy of the original in a way that is both positive and negative, I would say.
Yes. It has its best traits in mind, but also some of its worst traits.
And it's weird because I have been trying to figure out how to articulate this, but I feel like the movie feels the way it probably felt in 1922. I don't know why
1922. You were losing your blood.
Like I don't. I just died 1920. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the first one has slow, boring moments.
Yes.
This one, not to kick it off with negatives, but it has slow, boring moments. I mean, it's just a very long, drawn out story, or not even story, but film, I would say, because it honestly feels fast paced in regards to the Dracula story.
Yes.
Like it moves you along. But there are just moments where it's like it's dragging, but those could also be seen as these really beautiful, like gothic epic moments.
And that's a huge highlight for this movie because it is so visually stunning and impressive, and like the set design and the costume design is so perfectly captures the feeling of the movie.
It really does.
I remember you and Mom were commenting on the outfit that the main character, well, one of them, Thomas, was wearing.
Yes.
And it was
I want that jacket.
It was a cool jacket with like a neck piece, and I was like, it's so weird that people dressed up like this because it's so like cool, but is it practical? Like, do you think he was warm with that extra neck piece?
He looked pretty warm, yeah. It's probably more practical than like, me wearing shorts and a hoodie in January.
It's true.
That's what it's evolved into.
Yeah.
I mean, the costumes and that aspect of it being a period piece, it was really, really beautiful. I mean, there were so many shots that I was like, okay, I could just sit and look at this for a long time. Excuse me. Particularly when Thomas?
Yes.
Cool. Particularly when Thomas goes to meet Count Orlok for the first time, there are so many shots that just like hang, and it's clearly intentional. And those are not the moments that feel slow. Those are the moments that are like, okay, hang here for a minute. That's beautiful. Everything looks so, so cool, and it's so haunting. And I gotta say, Nicholas Hoult is like, bro, he sells how terrified he is in that scenario. Like, I felt afraid because of how afraid he looked.
Yes.
It was creepy to look at, but it's not visuals we've never seen before. Granted, they're beautifully done, but him in the lighting of Orlok's castle, while Orlok also just insanely played by Bill Skarsgård.
Yes.
Literally unrecognizable.
I had no idea it was him.
But his voice at first felt a little over the top, but grew on me as like one of the best parts of the character.
Yeah, and that was something that stood throughout the whole movie is everybody acted so well. Like, I felt like we were really immersed in the world. And it's funny because Count Orlok is, like you said, a little bit over the top. Like any normal person who showed up there and this guy was like, it's me. Like the way he talked, the way he looked, you're like, I got to get out of here.
That was one of the things that I thought was so great about it too, was how ambiguous they kind of kept. We're at a point we don't really need to be told what Nosferatu or a Dracula character can do, right? So what I appreciated was they sort of kept it ambiguous. Like, you're as much in the dark as you can be about a character that's been around for over 100 years, you know, or even longer. When was Dracula written? Do you know?
Ooh, 1800s,
right?
Yeah, 1898 is
How
my
wild
guess.
is that? That's so crazy. So that aspect of watching Orlok just be terrifying, and the people he's having these various supernatural effects on have no idea what's going on. That really was the fear of the entire movie. It's just ominous, and I will say there were a moment or two where I felt like there was a little bit of, I don't know if I want to call it like pretentious or what, but it felt like they were kind of really pushing a character just staring at the camera lens and screaming. And it was like, I know that's a thing that we do in modern horror where it's like, this is just so intense, this character can't even handle it, and it's unsettling to watch someone make eye contact and scream for this long. But there was at least one moment where I was like, all right, like I get it, like this person's panicking and everybody's scared, but like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I think, and maybe it's something to the director being Robert Eggers.
Eggers, yeah.
Eggers. And his movies, like with The Witch and The Lighthouse, and not so much The Northman, I guess, but where there are these shots that are drawn out to the point where it teeters on like being and again, I know you didn't want to say pretentious, and maybe that's not the right word.
Maybe
but like,
it is though.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is the right word.
It's very much like super artsy.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel like you're watching experimental film.
Right.
Which I guess the original Nosferatu was experimental for its time. So
right.
maybe he was trying to capture that feel.
I think there's some of that, and I totally appreciate it. It like I said earlier, there are some of these really long-hanging shots that are beautiful, and I like artistic things like that, which is why I think I've enjoyed his other films. I haven't seen them all, but this definitely felt in atmosphere very reminiscent of The Witch.
Yes.
And
even to the point where the dialogue is very much Shakespearean.
Oh, right.
Where they're talking in such a like classical English way. And I'm back and forth about that. I still don't know if I love it, because sometimes characters are having a conversation and I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because they're saying words that I'm like, wait, what does that mean again?
There was some of that in this one. At one point, I was sitting next to our mom, and she leaned over to me, and she's like, I don't understand a thing that guy's saying.
And so like that's cool, because it makes you feel like you're watching like a historical play or something.
Yeah.
But it also is a detriment because sometimes it gets so boring.
It can be, yeah. If you're not able to latch onto what people are saying, that can be tough. But on the other side, I do like that it feels as theatrical as it does.
Definitely, it does feel like it adds to the overall feeling of being immersed into the world.
Yeah, it's very much a dramatic horror, and I think some of those elements add to it. Some of those elements maybe are what make it drag a bit. It's also not a short movie at 2 hours 20 minutes. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing too long, but definitely over 2 hours at least.
I think the design of Orlok could be a thing of controversy. I don't know how people feel about it on the whole. I haven't seen too much about it yet, but very, very different from the original design. I think I grew to, some aspects. I think I grew to really like it by the end.
Yeah.
It was a more, I gotta say, the finale is...
That is definitely the strong point, is because you see a lot of things, because this movie's very dark throughout the whole thing. You are, because he's a vampire, he's got to be there at night. So there are times where you get more light depending on where he is in the story. And so when you get near the end of the movie, it's a lot more well lit, not regarding sun, but just it's well lit. So you get to see him more as the movie goes on. And he does look cooler the more light there is.
Yeah. And the other thing, I don't know if there is a thing with, this is a Dracula Nosferatu plot point, but he's getting stronger throughout the movie.
Yes. And
maybe that's part of what they're revealing to us throughout. I couldn't really tell because it's so dark early on. You can tell he's a little bit more feeble, but some aspects like his hands and things like that were reminiscent of the original, but mostly in his face. And as he gets, I guess, stronger throughout, his shape shifts a little bit, and he looks a little more human in this, but there's also very obviously something otherworldly about him, which is just a different kind of creepy, which I think at first I was like, meh, but by the end of it, a mixture of his voice, the way he looks, and there is a really big sort of monstrous payoff where you're like not quite seeing him the whole movie until you are, and you're like, all right, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I, that's a strong point throughout the whole movie, is like he is something that you are more interested to see as it goes on. I did really like the sound design.
Yes, I did too.
There were some sounds in there that'll certainly make you realize you're watching a horror movie.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which was cool. So like, I like a lot of the things that build it up. I don't think I love the final product.
Yeah.
I think I left the theater a little more disappointed than I'd like. Like it's not one that I'm dying to see again, or where the story really stuck with me as much as I'd hoped.
Sure.
But it was a fun romp. I'm glad I saw it in theaters.
A fun romp. If you guys watch Nosferatu, I want you to just think in your head about how Tim called it a fun romp.
It's a fun romp. It's you'll be laughing. You're gonna have a good time.
Disney's Oliver and Company's a fun romp. This is not a fun romp.
It's an enjoyable film. Yeah. But I am struggling if I want to call it a keeper or sleeper.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to discuss with it as far as like just overall. Again, presentation was beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought it was acted really well. I thought all the elements are so strong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just left me. I expected to be scared more, and I thought the design was going to be scarier.
I think, here's where I'm feeling a little jaded and kind of having a hard time is I know I've seen so many versions of the Dracula story. So there's a part of me that is, I feel like I'm rewatching a movie no matter how I'm watching it.
Yes.
Because I know it. I know the main plot points, I know the main beats. The last thing I saw that was really like, I was heavily into it because they delve really deep into certain points of the story that I haven't seen before is in the BBC Dracula. It's a 3-part series.
I still got to watch that.
Unbelievable. Like that I would rewatch. But watching this, I'm watching the story progress in a way that like I already kind of know all this. So while I really love the visuals, I'm not getting anything super new. There are some aspects that are varied from other tellings of vampire stories and of Nosferatu and Dracula in particular. But none of it felt like enough where I was like, this is awesome.
This is like my vampire movie.
I think maybe for the visuals,
yeah,
it's a keeper. Like it's definitely not a bad movie. But I think I'm having a hard time getting over I know the Dracula story. I'm glad we have this. Here's what I'd say about it. It's cool because Nosferatu is such an iconic moment in film history in general. It's cool that we have an updated version that I feel like artistically does the original justice.
Yes.
I think I could say
so.
that easily.
And I was skimming through the movie today a little bit, and there are some shot-for-shot recreations.
Yeah.
Specifically, there's a point where he's like, Thomas is pointing a mirror at himself to look at his body.
Yeah.
And it's almost one-to-one to how it was in the movie. It was really cool.
Right. I forgot about that shot. So, okay, here's a question. If someone was asking you if it's worth watching Nosferatu, would you tell them to watch the new one instead?
Yeah. Not only, but the original is such a hard watch. For even if you're a fan of horror, a fan of vampires, fan of classic cinema, it's slow. You definitely got to find the right version too, because you could easily find one that doesn't have music. You need the music with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely an updated version of the older one and a more digestible.
That's a good way to put it.
More digestible version. Yeah. It's. I think I'd give it a keeper, but it's nothing that like wowed me like I really wanted it to.
I would also say thematically, it's got some really interesting threads of love, of course,
sin, very heavily with sin. I felt like
and sacrifice, and that was the point where by the end I was like, oh man, that's heavy in a way that I wasn't really, I guess I wasn't really honed into until literally the last scene. And I was like, wow, this like the theme of sacrifice throughout is really, you didn't even mention, this just reminded me because one of the characters that talks about sacrifice is Willem Dafoe's character.
Yes.
And I didn't realize he was in it. I should have because it's a Robert Eggers movie.
Right, he's in everything. He was my favorite part of the movie.
He's great. He's so good.
He's kind of like a Van Helsing character in a way.
He is a little bit, right. Yeah, he did feel that way. And he adds a levity in a way.
Yes.
He's not like a comedic character by any means, but he somehow adds a levity to like a very, it's very heavy. This is not like, Eggers does not make movies that like feel good. You know what I mean?
I think it's a fun romp. No, but I agree. All of his movies are so...
The Witch is a rom-com. You should check that out.
They're so dreadful. And I know you haven't seen the Norseman or Northman. I have it written
The
down.
Northman. Oh,
the Northman.
Yeah.
That is also, like, all of his stories are just dark and dreadful. And Willem Dafoe, every time he shows up, you're like, yeah!
Yeah.
Because he is always like a wacky character, but he always makes it so much better.
He does, yeah. How funny seeing him in Beetlejuice, and then seeing him in this.
It's quite different.
Very different. Yeah. I think for, the visuals, to see an updated version that does justice to the original. If you're a fan of monster movies and period pieces, honestly, that was, I would sell this as like a period drama, almost more than a horror, but it is filled with dread. So go in knowing that. But I would say for that, it is a keeper.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth at least a watch.
Yeah.
Even if you watch it at home, just make sure the lights are off because it'll being immersed is very helpful in this.
Yeah,
type of
I feel
movie.
like I want to watch this. If I were to watch it again, I don't even like wine, but I feel like I need like a glass of wine and like something
I'll
fancy.
be having a glass of blood.
Yeah, you would. Let us know if you saw Nosferatu.
Yes.
And what you thought of Nosferatu.
And if you would drink blood if given the opportunity.
What was that?
Nosferatu's
What?
here.
It sounded like a bat. Right? Did that not sound like a bat?
It might be the mice. They like to hang out in the ceiling.
Is it mice with wings?
It might be. They might have evolved.
That legitimately sounded like a bat. That's so weird. I'm getting out of here.
That's good.
All right, I think we're done. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Before we leave,
Yes.
Tim,
Uh-huh.
why don't you tell everyone where they can find you and your other work?
You guys can find me at Sonic Music. I didn't want to do it during our review. So
Yeah, of course not. I appreciate that. Yeah.
But you guys can find me at Collection Revolution all over the place. I'm still streaming on Twitch. It might be a little less because I'm focusing on YouTube and life goals. But I still intend to stream. But yeah, majorly on YouTube at Collection Revolution, but also on Twitter, on Instagram, on Threads, TikTok. Might be gone in 2 weeks, so I don't even know.
I feel like we've been saying that for 2 years.
Oh, I know. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, check me out all over the place. Watch my journey as I become a new Tim, a stronger Tim, a better Tim.
Wow.
Speaking of better Tims, Brett, where can everyone find you?
What?
Oh, and your stinky kneecaps.
Bummer.
I forgot about a body part.
Please do every time. You can find me. I don't know. What am I up to? I'm not decided yet if I'm back when you can find me
At the Keep Up Podcast.
Yeah, you know where to find the Keep Up, right? Did you say no? When do we say the Keep Up stuff? Do we even?
Don't we do it at the beginning?
I don't remember. Yeah.
It's been a year.
You can find me at This Drink I Like It on Instagram. That's my personal page. I don't know what I'm up to next on socials, but you can find me and all the happenings over there. And you can find us at the Keep Up Podcast on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Tim's drinking out of his gigantic submarine full of water right now. Before we leave, Tim's going to do what's called End Babble, where he talks nonsense for about a minute and a half. Thank you guys again for hanging out. This has been episode number 305 of the Keep Up Podcast. Whoa. Tim, your theme is kayaking upstream to the new things that this year has in store for us.
Okay.
Otherwise known as degaring. I'm at the pool with my buddy Tamarina.
How many things do I have to talk about?
I don't know.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Love you.
They say love is a river, and the river we take is far beyond the reaches of us. So jump in your kayak and swim in the land of forever. Kayak north, up the river, far beyond the dreams of once you had before you were born, and to the dreams of a future unlike any you've thought of. Kayak, move those little oars, speed like a little demon, like a little bat out of hell. You shall achieve these dreams when you believe. And the future holds many things, whether it be money or chicken or gum. But whatever is at the end of this river, once you go on it, you're never going to stop. You may go past the destination, but before it was the beginning. So go on this river, fly in your kayak, and don't drown, because people will miss you. And so I'll leave you with this. 2025 is a year of freshness, of recharging, restarting, reestablishing what it means to be you. So follow your dreams, follow your goals. Don't forget to wipe your butt, because people tend to forget that sometimes. Thank you.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Very cool. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to the Keep Up podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also find us at patreon.com/thekeepup, where you can support us monthly for as little as $1 per month, and you can get yourself some cool Keep Up merch in our Etsy shop. Links are down below.
Ready to get started?
On what?
We're doing the bumpers, aren't we?
Yes, we're doing the bumpers. Do you have, you got the remote?
Of course.
Just hit record and we'll ready to go.
All right.